Ich war kein Thief, football class, we're here to light the fire. Spitting facts and stats, you know we never tire. Bringing the heat up, that passion won't retire. Busting through the mic, our voices never expire. We ignite the spirit, never fading out. Light the torch, USC fans rise up high. On this podcast, we aim for the sky. Knowledge and entertainment never lie. Together we stand, let the truth amplify.
All right, Trojan fans, get in here, get in here. We are live, and it is Sunday. It's December 1st, so that means that the season is over, and now we are focusing to the off season. We're focusing on figure out what bowl game we're going to be in, and also early signing period is this Wednesday, the 4th. So we have a lot to look forward to. So we'll be talking about all that today. We'll recap the Notre Dame game, and then we'll talk some recruiting. But let me go ahead and introduce the boys. To my right, we got B. Jones. How's everything going?
It will be better after this week. I'll tell you that.
All right. Guns, views from the stands. Follow him on YouTube. Follow us on our Twitch. He runs our Twitch channel. I'm not sure what we're going to be. Are we going to be doing playoffs in college football 25?
Yes, correct. Yeah, we have our conference championship game. I believe it's Ole Miss. Tuesday we will be streaming, so look out for that. We'll be tweeting out the time and the link and all that. But hey, fight on, guys. We're doing good over here.
All right, and we got Raul underneath me. Say what's up, Raul.
Fight on, family. Just wanted to say, I know we didn't get the result we wanted yesterday, but keep your head up. I think the future is still bright. The season didn't go as we expected, but a few good things did develop towards the end of the season. So, we kept up with the ranked number 5 or 16 ranked in the nation. Kept it very close to the very end, and this is probably going to be one of the worst USC teams that we'll probably see in a while. I think the future is going to be, it's at least trending in the right direction with all the young talent that we saw out yesterday. So, like I said, we wish would have been, way ahead of schedule. We still got some, things to work on, but I don't think it's all that bad. If we hit the portal, I think we're in a good spot. In other words, so.
Yep, right, we'll jump more into that a little later, but for sure, the future is bright, man.
All right. Do we want to do the pregame, the game recap, or did we just want to jump into the first quarter? Let's just jump into the first quarter, guys.
Let's go the first, yeah.
So the first quarter today is thoughts on the Notre Dame game. So we had 2 of the guys here at the game. So let's go ahead and give it to B. Jones first here since he was at the game. Then we'll move on to Raul's. Give us your experience of the game, and then just your thoughts.
Overall, I got to be honest with you. I mean, we got some information prior to the game that we definitely saw during pregame, man, that everybody wasn't there. And it was really disheartening to hear and definitely disheartening to see after hearing that. We were told that from a locker room source that people are already thinking about the transfer and transfer portal and hurry up and get this season over with. For all those kids who are already thinking that, get out of here. If you can't focus in for a rivalry game, especially a long story hate rivalry game like Notre Dame, then you're not a Trojan. We don't need you here. Don't worry, somebody will take your place. So
all right,
that's
thoughts about the game.
That's how I felt. Sorry, what was that?
Thoughts on the game now?
Oh yeah, the actual game. So let's get to the game now. That was my thoughts on pregame. Let's get to the actual game. So, yeah, man. There was a lot of good to take away. Jaden Ball up until those last couple minutes, man. He played a phenomenal game. Shouts out to Jaden. For anybody who says otherwise, you tripping. Straight up. You tripping. I don't know what you're looking at. But, yeah, aside from those 2 picks, man, Jaden played a great game. Lincoln did Lincoln things. Made some weird decisions. But just nothing that we haven't seen all year. So, what can you say? I'm proud of the way they did fight, though. The team eventually woke up and started to fight. But if we had that fight from the beginning, it probably would have been a different story, man. So, all in all, man, the future is still bright. There was a lot of good things to take away from this game, which I'm sure we'll get into later. So, overall, it's disappointing, but we're good. We're going to be all right.
Nice. All right. Roll.
Overall, I thought, we did a decent job, keeping up with Notre Dame for the majority of the game. We didn't get to a good start. I'm not sure why Lincoln Riley keeps doing that. Every time we win toss, he chooses to go for the ball. But, being realistic, our offense hasn't been, the greatest this year, and it's not an automatic that we're going to score a touchdown. So, I wish he would have gone defensive side first. Maybe it could have been a different outcome to start the game, potentially get some good field position. But, it is what it is. Overall, I thought the team played great with all the things that were going on, like B. Jones mentioned. It's kind of frustrating to hear that, some of the players were already thinking of Cancun rather than, focusing on the actual game.
You said Cancun?
Yeah, I did say Cancun. But like, even if you're trying to transfer out, right? Like, why don't you put up a good film for your next school? Even if you want to do that, like, show them that even when times do get tough, and then you're still there for your team, you're going to give it your all. Especially for NFL scouts, right? They see that. They see all of this, in my opinion, and see, like, okay, this kid was going to transfer out, but, he still played his heart out and put in a full-on effort. But overall, disappointing ending. But like you said, Jaden did ball out, so it was promising to see that.
Right on, yeah. Definitely. And what about your experience at the game?
Now that you bring it up, crowd wasn't too bad, but it was disappointing to see, like, our fans. You guys have to pick it up. And what I mean by that, get loud on third downs at the very least. Focus on what's going on the field. Get a better understanding of what to do when we have the ball. You guys have to quiet down. You guys don't have to get too amped up. And then the student section, I'm sorry, guys, but I have to call you guys out. There was a bunch of Notre Dame fans out there, doing the whole, what's it called, tossing somebody when they score. Like multiple in our student section. So it's like very disappointing to see. So you students out there, man, take some pride on your student section. It's all right that you may have a friend there, but that's disrespectful for them to do that in your student section. I see that as disrespect. You guys allowing that, that's a big no-no, man. So you guys gotta step it up next year.
All right, Guns.
Yeah, so just my thoughts on the game. First half, I think it was just a battle back and forth. We had a great job the first quarter. Obviously, we weren't able to push through and get points on the board. I did like the aggressiveness just because, again, we're 6-5 at the time, right? They're number 5 team ranked team in the country, so you kind of have to go for it all, in my opinion. So just to see that kind of mindset early on was great to see, I think. And then at the end to kind of get a touchdown right before the half, since they were able to score pretty much with like a minute left, was great to see, kind of calm the nerves, right, and kind of got us ready for the second half. And really the point in the game, in my opinion, for this game was pretty much in the third quarter. Right after Notre Dame scored to make it 28-21, we had about a 5-minute series between the teams where we started off with 6 plays. We passed the ball, ran the ball, pass, and then we ran the ball on 3rd and 10. I guess the only thing I could think of is maybe at the time he was hoping we were going to get more yards and then maybe go for it on 4th down. Didn't like the outcome and then just, punted it. Then we were able to get the interception. That's great to see, right? Defense gets back off the field. And that next drive, we decided to pass it for 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't run the ball. We don't let the defense rest. And we give the ball back to Notre Dame, and it's 35-21, right? They get gashed for a long run. And, pretty much then, right, we're definitely on our heels. We're having to pass more, forgetting the run, and that's kind of comes into those 2 interceptions. So that 5-minute stretch really is key, in my opinion, on just kind of what we've all been talking about throughout this whole season is these certain moments where we just don't run the ball and give more time to let the defense rest, so on and so forth. So all in all, I love the fight from the boys. Looking forward to the future.
Yep. So I'll start with the defensive side. I thought this was probably the worst tackling that I've experienced since last year's Alex Grinch ran defense. Worst probably gap protection at all. Like some of the players know who they are. There was just a lot of over pursuing when it came to the gap control. So there was a lot of huge gaps for Jeremiah Love, who was just a beast in that game. He was running with authority, and it was just prevalent that he was not going to be taken down by the first hit. So sucks that he got hurt. Hope he's okay. But yeah, like he was just a machine when it came to running the ball. But we got a lot of pressure. I appreciate that we got some pressure. Cam Fountain got a tackle or got a sack. Jamil made some noise in there, so shout outs to Jamil. But like we were getting back there, we were getting some pressure. For a while, he was completing. Riley Leonard was completing everything, but then we started to really kind of pick things up. But like this was probably one of the worst defensive performances or called games by Dan Lynn, because they did not punt until like the 3rd or 4th quarter, I think. So that's just insane that they did not punt at all that much, and they were about to punt, and then they had a fake punt, which was surprising for a team. Well, I guess it's everything's on the line for them. So I appreciate that we got a lot more pressure on the defensive side. Offensive side was just complete shambles. Lincoln Riley's allergic to running the ball. Like he probably gets hives every time he calls a run ball or a run play. He does not know what the meaning run means. He probably every time he says hand the ball off, he actually means the opposite. Lincoln Riley just does not know how to call a competent game. I don't understand how he got the head coaching job at Oklahoma. I don't understand why he's our head coach.
Damn, you see. All right. So you mentioned something. So you said something about Danton Lynn's play calling was a little off.
I wouldn't say off, but like it just I guess off, or maybe it was more just on the players not putting themselves in the position because they were over pursuing, because there was a lot of because the running backs just did one cut back and they were off to the races at that point. So really quick shout out. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
I was just going to give a quick shout out to Christian Ragland. only concerned if we start to lose commits in the trenches. The O-line and D-line needs to be our focus. We need a bigger, faster trench players. We are loaded at the skill point. Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about more recruiting a little bit later, though, Christian, but appreciate the $10 dono.
Absolutely. So, BC, to what you were saying, man, I think he called a good game, actually. Dantzler did. He definitely had people in the right position, or at least they were supposed to be in the right position. Had the execution had been there.
Yeah.
Balls were there. The play calling was there, but the execution, absolutely not.
Okay,
especially from our older guy, which is, very disappointing.
I get that. So I may have misspoke on that, but yeah, just our performance as a team was just poor when it came to some of those up the gut running plays that they were doing against us, because they were doing that all game. When Jeremiah Love went down when he went down and he was out, first play, 31-yard rushing touchdown by their backup.
Yeah.
One cut up the gut.
Downfall. I think that's been our downfall this year. I feel like our defense has been playing fairly well, and then they just, for some reason, let like a big play, go for a touchdown. It kind of reminded me a lot of the Michigan game, where the defense played fairly well, and it was just a few big plays that were just game changers.
Yeah. Real quick, we have 111 people in the chat. Appreciate you guys being in the chat. Let us know your thoughts on this Notre Dame game, and hit that like button right now. We're only at 5 likes right now, so go ahead and hit that like button and get us up there.
All right. So if you are on X or Twitter, or however you want to call it, come on over to YouTube, man, and hit the like button on your way in. And toward the end of the show, we will be dropping the link so you guys can join us as well.
All right. Anyone else want to add anything else to the Notre Dame game? Our thoughts on it? Let me see what other people are saying in the chat about.
I think there was a comment that said, "Is Notre Dame a fringe playoff team, or is USC a few plays away?" I mean, I think it's.
I'm not going to take anything away from Notre Dame. They played a hell of a game. That
I still think. I mean, not to try to take anything away from them. I still don't think they're like an elite team. Like, we were able to keep up with them, and we already know we're short a few of our top defensive players at the very least, and we play with our top running back. So it was the first time being out with Woody Marks, or first time being out with Woody Marks, which is a big adjustment for Lincoln Riley and the team, right? To play a whole game for the most part without our top running back, and we were able to keep it close. So with that being said, I think Notre Dame, may struggle in the playoffs depending on who they face, because no disrespect to our team, but we are a few players away, to be elite. I think we're a decent team. We're better than what our record shows. I think a lot of that falls on Lincoln Riley, just not executing with his play calling.
Yeah, I would say we're more talented than our record shows.
Yeah. We have the talent. We just can't close. That's a huge issue. Something that Lincoln Riley's going to need to get over in his head. He needs to go see a therapist or something. He needs to get over his scared mindset, because right now he's just afraid to run the ball. I think the ratio to run pass plays is probably 90-50, or I'm sorry, 90-10 when it comes to his playbook, because it literally, like, the run game is just counter. He doesn't know anything else. Does he know any other run play? Like, why are we, like, if we're going to sometimes just stack one side and make them outman us, like, stack, do something that's not predictable. It's predictable when we're going to run the counter. Like, that's all you do. And the commentators, that's all they say. Oh, he's going back to his his bread and butter, the counter, which was an accident that happened in the play in practice. Like, okay, everyone knows you're going to do that. Be an offensive genius as people say you are. No, you're not. You should have a dunce cap on right now.
As you can see, BC is very upset with Lincoln Riley, as most of us are.
Yeah, and David Montague has a good question. I mean, yeah, what's our identity, really?
Pass, 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 run, pass, 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 run, pass, run. Maybe run on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 30, pass, pass, pass.
Yeah, I still don't think. I mean, yeah, that's the biggest issue here is that we don't really have an identity other than we're probably a passing team, right? Pass heavy team, and if anything, our opponents know that, and they're using that against us because they know that Lincoln Riley won't stick to the run if it's working, which has been working all year.
Yeah.
So it is frustrating to see that, Lincoln Riley doesn't commit to the run at least one full game.
Yeah.
Especially if it's working. So hopefully.
If Quentin Joyner stays next year, Lincoln Riley's probably going to have one of the best running backs in the Big 12 or Big 10, and he's probably not going to use him properly.
Who knows? We don't know that. I mean, we don't know that. I mean, it's a last season, right? I mean, it's a last season. It's a last season already. For our sake, if we don't hire an offensive coordinator, it's hopefully Lincoln Riley learns from his mistakes this season.
So let's dig into that a little bit, if you guys don't mind.
Do we just want to switch into the second quarter, which is going to be thoughts of the overall season?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know your thoughts on USC's overall season. I know reading the comments should be fun.
Well, we can start with Ben. Why? Well, let me ask you guys, chat. You guys in chat, go ahead and tell me. Do you guys feel that it is a must to get offensive coordinator going into this next season?
Oh, sorry, you're asking chat.
I know your answer back, chat. I'm asking the chat because
why don't you put a poll up, Blackie Chen? Put a poll if you don't mind.
That's a waste of my time because that's an easy yes. But I'll put it up there just to humor you.
Well, I want to see how big of a yes it is because I think it'll definitely be leaning towards a yes, but I want to see if it's going to be a perfect 100.
Okay, and I'm putting a stipulation on this here. If you guys say no, you have to put why you say no.
Absolutely.
If I see a no in there, that just I want to stop this poll because I just call BS at that point. But poll is up. Should Lincoln Riley hire an OC? All right, we have 140 people in here. I better see at least 100 votes. Right now, okay. So we have 2 votes for no. We have 3 votes for no. Okay, what is going on here? Tell me why.
Tell me why.
No, we're not doing that.
But I mean, personally, myself, I do believe that it would be beneficial for Lincoln Riley to hire an OC. I mean, this year just proved that. I know Lincoln Riley prior to this season, he was considered an offensive genius. I don't know if I could say that because he didn't adjust to his, players. And in my opinion, he didn't use Miller Moss the right way. He was trying to play his system rather than, focusing on Miller Moss's strengths. So I think that, hiring an OC, it's a must.
The chat is trolling at this point right now because it's 60% saying no.
That's what I said. Because some people still believe that he is this offensive genius. I'm past that point. Quite frankly, I was past that point last year. I think I've been saying it for a while. but yeah, I mean, listen, people are going to have a difference in opinion. That's just, that's life. But I don't see what you guys are seeing. I just don't see it. I don't see how we can. Since he's gotten here, we've said the same things over and over about Lincoln Riley's play calling, and actually they've gotten worse this year. And
Yep.
you're still calling this man a genius. I don't understand that, especially with the very questionable calls that he's been making, man. Especially the Jake Jensen thing. I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah. So we had Christian. Shout outs to Christian. Yesterday had nothing to do with Riley play calling. We was destroyed in trenches. What do you guys think about that?
Yay and nay. I mean, like I said, there was some play calls. Lincoln.
Yeah, I would say both could be true, right? I mean, I think in this situation, I think play calling was a factor. I mean, from what I described in the Notre Dame game, that 5-minute stretch. I mean, you can't do that in my opinion. But at the same time, right, our trenches, especially on the defensive side right now, is depleted, and that is why they were able to run for over 200 yards. So I mean, I feel like both can be true.
Yeah.
And this again, I think both is true again. I mean, again, like if you don't fix trenches, we'll have the same result. And you could, he could improve somehow, off season, right? A lot of self, reflection and whatnot. And hopefully he can study and realize, hey, these certain moments, you're really impacting the game. So, if there's a way to study that, but, I think the OC would be the ideal, situation. Cause I mean, almost 10 years of head coach, and I mean, it's just the same play calling. People are really starting to figure it out. So,
Born Again Boom says this man has a top 5 offense his whole career. Why would we?
Because he don't have one right now.
The Big 12 is a lot different when it comes to defense.
Exactly.
So same with the Pac-12. Not really too much priority when it comes to the defense in those conferences, but the Big 10 clearly is a step up in defense, and we've experienced that.
One, I was going to say, Kristen brought up a good point. At least that's how I feel at times about this particular, situation in the game. When we are in the red zone, obviously the holes are a lot smaller, especially when we're inside the top, inside the 10 and in the goal line. I think he brought up a point where he says that we don't get no push on the O-line. And that may be the reason why Lincoln Riley, stops running the ball inside the line or inside the, 10 or whatnot. Because I kind of noticed that myself, and maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know if it's just me, but what do you guys think? Like every time I've seen the team inside the 10, I feel like our O-line doesn't get a good push, and we usually get, stuffed right on the line.
See, the thing when it comes to Lincoln Riley, he needs to be more focused on also the team rather than having his nose in the play sheet. Because there's a lot of times that he's just missing things. He's too busy kind of scheming for what's the next play. He needs to be looking at the play clock. He needs to be looking at the personnel that he has in. He needs to be more focused on being the head coach than being half a head coach and half an offensive coordinator. Like he can have his input on his OC. He can even hire an OC that kind of has the same kind of philosophy, or at least when it comes to his offensive style. But there needs to be some balance, and everyone can tell when you should be running the ball. Like we shouldn't. I think over 90% of the first downs we threw on first down, no one should be throwing the ball on first down all the time. Like it's pretty predictable. Like we'll throw a ball first down, 1st and 10, incomplete, and then run 2nd and 10, and then we're already in a long third down situation. We're in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 3, or 3rd and 6. It's just like that is not a recipe for success. I don't see why he consistently does it and still expects a different outcome. It's literally mind-boggling.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. And this is why I got to ask you guys, What gives you belief that Lincoln Riley will change over the offseason? Being that this is the third year and we're still saying the exact same thing we've been saying.
I mean, me personally, I don't. I just really said that for people out there, but I mean, I guess to answer that question, I would go to that comment earlier that we showed up where the guy said, "Hey, he's had a top 5 offense every year," right? I guess that's the answer to that question, is where people just think, "Oh, well, he's got top 5, he can figure it out." But I mean, it just seems like the offense is good. The play calling, though, to really beat the elite teams and to compete at the national championship is it won't get us there.
So
you gotta run the ball more.
We saw all season that you at least in the Big Ten, you need to be able to run the ball effective. We can run the ball effective when we do it consistently, and that's the situation with Lincoln Riley. He's not consistent with the run. Like, the run sets up the pass, so he's thinking the complete opposite. He's thinking that the pass will set up the run. That's why he passes the ball on first down and he's like, "Oh, this sets up for the run." No,
I mean, that's not entirely wrong. Like, Shane, the pass definitely can set up the run, but it's the low percentage play calls that kill me. Trying to substitute runs with screen passes, and that's what kills me. Screen passes. Listen, if you had a stack of plays, run and pass, the screen pass is still going to be in the pass section. All right, it's not a substitute for running the ball. Just run the ball.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Everyone knows that Woody Marks is one of the top running backs in the nation, and yet we still did not do any of that. Like how did we waste this man's? I wouldn't say we wasted his season. It's just, well,
he could have had a better.
He was probably hoping to get to the playoffs, which we all were hoping to get to the playoffs. It's just, it sucks that that's how his Trojan season ended. Yeah. And I hope he's okay.
Mama Mark said that he's okay, so
just a concussion scare, or just being on the safe side.
Possibly, yeah, but he's good from what I saw, or from what I read. I mean,
that's good.
What are your thoughts on the O-line play? I know that early on the season, the O-line didn't look good at all. After that Michigan game, but it did get better throughout the season.
It did.
So, what do you guys think? What grade would you guys give our O-line in? And then the second question is, do we keep Hansen or do we replace him?
So I'll say the left side, I'll give a B+. The right side, I'd say a C- to D+. So
what would be the overall grade?
I feel like that's the overall grade. I'll give it a B-.
B-.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say they improved every game since that Michigan game. I mean, my thoughts now are really like the future, and like it sounds like we're going to be replacing 3 spots most likely.
Yeah, because E-Man's going to be gone.
Yeah, center, left guard, and most likely right tackle. So I guess just my thought is like the development underneath these guys right now throughout the season, right? How that's been and the growth. I mean, and really the center is my big piece. I do feel comfortable with the left guard and the right tackle replacements. I think I just wonder about the center, because the center plays a big factor in this offense. So
yeah, like E-Man, A+. That man. Oh yeah. What's his name? What's that dumbass's name? I can't remember his name, but
you really want to know the answer to that?
No, I'm gonna blast his ass. Pause. That asshole of a defensive lineman.
99, yeah.
99.
Yeah, Riley something. Riley whatever. You're a bitch for that.
Yep, pretty much. But let me say this, man. We can call him a bitch all day for that because it was a punk ass move. But what's even more bitch made is nobody doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off.
Riley Mills.
Yeah, there you go.
Notre Dame, number 99. I hope you broke your fist by doing that. That first off, who punches someone that's in a helmet, by the way? And second of all, the refs, y'all should be fined for that.
They really should.
Letting that shit happen. I understand it. I understand it's a rivalry game. Just let that shit happen, or not let that happen, but just let them speak with their pads and not their fists during the game or after a play.
When he's laying down on the floor.
Yeah, and then going back to the O-line, I would say I would love, in terms of like the Henson thing, it feels like he's going to return. So let's say if he does return.
Oh, Josh Henson?
Yeah, if he does return, I would love an Adrian Clem. I believe that's his first name. Former Oregon O-line coach, went to the NFL a little bit. Great recruiter. Great relationship guy. SoCal guy, has great connections. So with the new rules with the coaches, I would love, again, going back to the Lincoln Riley, cut his pay if we have to. Hey, create 2 to 3 million more, and let's expand the coaching staff more. So that would be my thoughts.
Dang.
Wasn't expecting that, was you?
I'm actually happy with the O-line play towards the end. I still think we still need to build it up because I still stand by what I stated earlier. And like I said, I could be wrong, but at least that's from what I remember. Our O-line doesn't get a really big push once we're inside the top, or inside the 5 or 10. We usually get, pushed back on that end. So hopefully that gets better next year, and it starts by getting obviously more depth, and then getting the right players for the system.
Yeah, in all honesty, I like the fact that we've got it under center a lot, or when it comes to like those quarterback sneaks or whatever. But if it didn't work the first time, I feel like literally the option would have been probably the best to do on the red zone. Because Jaden Mayava, he's a big dude. He falls forward. He doesn't go backwards. And then just pitching it off to Quentin, dude hardly gets knocked backwards. Like, he's only had one play this whole season, or maybe 2 plays that went for negative yards. So I just don't understand why you at least you always feel like you need to go up through the center. Like, we have other ways to go that we can run the ball. We can run it on the outside. Like, there was hardly any pitches to the outside. It like I said, it was just all counter plays. But yeah, overall, the season, or we need to talk about overall the season. I just feel like, of course, we all know how this season was. So we thought in our head was going to go, but this was a complete disappointment. On the offensive side was probably my biggest disappointment this whole season. Defensive side, I was very much pleased with how the improvement was.
Right. So no one, absolutely no one had our offense looking like this in their bingo cards.
Nope.
So we were talking all the crap to the Big Ten guys. We're part of the Big Ten huddle and everything. I mean, college huddle, and we're telling them. We were
talking big.
I'm sorry.
We were talking some big noise.
Yeah, man. So because we thought we thought for sure, if nothing else, we would have an offense, right? We thought defense would be a bit more of an issue, maybe, because we don't have all our guys yet to fit the system. But
yeah, I went on so many podcasts saying that we'd be 10-2. The ceiling. I even said that there was a chance that we could possibly go undefeated.
I guess I'm the clown for saying that we might go undefeated.
Yeah, jokes on us, right?
Yeah. We didn't. In our defense, we didn't expect this Lincoln Riley play calling.
Yeah.
No one did. Even the guys that we even talked the crap to, they got to admit that they didn't expect our offense to be that bad.
Yeah. You know what's sad though? We were what 50th in the nation or we were 51st in the nation for scoring offense, which is still better than half the nation, which should be, or like our total offense was 23rd. And it's sad that that's not good enough, like especially for a Lincoln Riley offense, which I'm hoping, like, we were good last year, even though our defense sucked. And everyone and their mother always says, well, could you imagine if we had Caleb Williams this year? Things would be a whole lot different. And hell, they might have been different if we had Caleb still. But hopefully this was a wake-up call for Lincoln Riley, and that he's going to go back to see why he should have ran right here. I hope he hits an epiphany. He gets out of Groundhog's Day at this point, because he's just going in circles. But yeah, 23rd in total offense. We were averaging 440 yards a game, which is insane.
Yeah, and like I think what you were saying earlier, BC. I mean, finishing right. We just didn't finish the majority of these games, right? Five games. We were leading in the fourth quarter, and we lose. So I mean, historically speaking, when teams, lose, one possession games, that next year we tend to be better. So I mean, I feel like that will happen. But I mean, that's kind of the story of this season. We definitely did not finish.
And Lincoln Riley crumbles under pressure.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this because I see Fred saying like, do you guys feel good about next year? I mean, personally, Fred, I do think that this team underperformed this year because of Riley, like play calling. Like I said, I'm just calling out Riley, and hope he takes accountability on his end. Because if he doesn't, we'll be in trouble for next year as well. He needs to learn from his mistakes. But this team is way better than what our record shows. So if he can figure it out, if we hire an OC or for some reason he takes accountability, I do feel good about next season because I still think we have the talent to be able to, keep up with these teams for the majority of them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we're going to be a championship contender or that we can win it all. It truly depends on what we do with the portal, but I do believe that we have a really good team that can compete with the majority of these teams out there. If you go back to this season, we lost versus Maryland, which is a game we should have not lost. We lost versus Minnesota. We shouldn't have lost that one. Michigan's a tough out, so that's a toss-up. I still think we could have won that game. Who else did we lose to? Penn State.
Penn State's
a good team, so who knows what happens next year. We were here at home. We gave it up. But, overall, we were in these games. Lincoln Riley's right about one thing. We were in these games. We weren't just one play away because it takes more than just one play away. But, I do feel confident that if we make those right adjustments that, we can compete next year.
Yeah. Yeah, this was the only game that we did not have a fourth quarter lead, and we still were in this game. There were some unfortunate plays that happened late in the fourth quarter that basically put us out of position. But either way, we were hanging in there. Notre Dame's a good team. And it's just some unfortunate mistakes that I'm sure Jaden's going to learn from. And but he played a great game, but pretty much it just feels like that Lincoln Riley just doesn't know how to keep pushing keep the foot on the pedal, so to speak, to when it comes to not just playing safe. He plays safe when he gets a lead, and then that when you play prevent defense or prevent offense or whatever, you prevent yourself from winning.
Yeah. And then Christian brought up another point, like if you want to put that one at the 6-12 mark, I'm truly surprised that y'all blaming the failure of the season on play calling. Chris, and I'm not just blaming the play calling, but I do believe that the play calling definitely, outweighs the players not being at the right spot or not making the right play. It's a little bit of both for sure. Just yesterday, I think our defensive players were in the right spot. They just didn't make the plays.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a little bit of both, but I do put the accountability more on Lincoln Riley because of the poor time management on some of these games, poor play calling on the red zone. So, we're not just putting the fingers. But yeah, go ahead, Guns.
I was gonna say, like to your saying, yes, the defense plays were out of position, but like if he ran the ball a little bit better after that interception when we were 28-21, the defense might have, we don't know, might have gotten a stop because they were maybe a little bit more, I don't know, fresh, relax, like they actually were able to, take a breather basically, since that next drive was only a minute long, right?
Yeah.
So going back, he's the head coach / OC. He's calling the play. So
yeah, and when it comes to the play calling situation here, is that he's not helping our defense. Like if we have 3 plays that are passing and they're either incomplete or they're short of the first down mark, and we're having to punt, like how's that helping our defense staying off the field? Like you need to be able to play to make sure that your defense can recover for the next series. It makes no sense to throw the ball 3 times and then go 3 and out. And like I know we have a good punter, but damn, let our defense rest. And the play calling is the situation that it makes no sense. Like you can't tell me that you think it's a good idea to throw the ball 3 times in a row, then or throw the ball 2 times in a row and then run 3rd and 10. That's what who decides to do something completely opposite.
Overthinking, man.
Yeah. And I would say the last thing is, Christian, you're not wrong in terms of what you're saying either. I think this is a situation where both things can be true. Like, yes, from the start, we were getting gashed. From the start of the second half, we were getting gashed. But we're only down 7 points at a certain point in time after an interception. Yes, you want to maybe step on their throw and try to get a touchdown quickly. But let's just take a breather. Let's run the ball a little bit. Like we were averaging over five yards to carry, and that's with our backup running back, right? Woody Marks was out at the time in the second half. So like, I just again the timing of the calls is what's getting us.
Yeah, Quentin Joyner had 10 attempts for 83 yards. He was averaging 8.3 yards a run. Why are we not rushing with him more? That just makes no sense. That really should have been a lot more in that situation. Like it's showing that we can run the ball. Why aren't you doing that? Like so we passed the ball 49 times and we rushed the ball 28 times. Like I'm sure a majority of those passing attempts came towards the end, which is understandable. I get that. But when you're seeing success on the run game, why are you deviating from it? When we played Washington, they were one of the worst rushing defenses in all of the country, but they were the number 1 or top 5 passing defense. Why do you try to challenge that? It makes no sense to try to challenge that. Go towards the weakness. This defense for Notre Dame was not their strong point when it comes to rushing. Why not attack that defense? Why not attack their weakness? You need to exploit their weaknesses. And Lincoln Riley refuses to exploit that.
Spot on.
Like, why? Like, I'm sure the 208 people in this chat were screaming at this TV, run the ball. when the commentators are saying you guys are doing good on the ground, why aren't you running the ball? That's telling you something. That they're seeing it from the top. They're seeing it from a top view. They have the best way to see what's working for us. And Lincoln Riley is refusing to go to what's working for us. Like, we should not have been an 80th percentage, or we should not have been. We should have been at least a top 50 running team, and we weren't. Woody Marks is easily a top 10 running back in the nation. Like Ashton Genty, great. He's a great rusher, and he's probably the best running back. But Woody Marks is not far behind. But we've been talking a little bit about this here, so we're going to be moving on here to early signing period. Third quarter early signing period. That's coming up on the 4th of December. And there's a lot of rumblings for a lot of things. A big thing that we kind of figured that happened today is we lost out on 5-star wide receiver Jerome Miles. And it's a lot of rumors. He hasn't come out and committed directly to Texas A&M, but he was just at Texas A&M. He's probably still there right now. So let's talk about it, guys.
Yeah, so we got the recruiting segment. So like BC said, Jerome Miles decommitted and is predicted A&M. Pretty sure he'll announce that this week. But yeah, let's start with some good stuff, guys. So Jakeem Stewart update. Didn't visit Ohio State, but did visit LSU during this week. Basically, they closed some of the gap, but we're still the leader in this race. Again, it's pretty much an LSU USC battle right now. Announcing Wednesday. Again, don't be surprised if we start hearing maybe Ohio State, Oregon try to get in late. But again, I think this is hometown or he's coming to LA. So and we're in the lead as of now. So this is great news. Another guy, Madden Fiermo. He did visit over the weekend, and the thought was that if he were to visit, pretty much he would be a Trojan, and we are optimistic. The staff is optimistic after the visit. He will be announcing Monday. So good things heading towards that. Dalen Penson, currently a DB for Georgia Tech commit, was out in his official visit, enjoyed it, loved it. We'll be having conversations within the next 2 days on his decision, and we should hear some stuff Wednesday on him. Christian Ingram, big-time D lineman out of Georgia, loved his visit. Pretty much his best visit he's had compared to all the others. We are the leader. We received predictions, fong bongs, all that stuff, and he'll be announcing Wednesday as well. So big time D line commits, and everyone's been wondering about trenches. There you go, guys. There's the trenches that you guys are all looking for.
I'm
Malcolm
sorry,
Simpson.
Really quick, who was that last recruit that you just said? Sorry,
Christian Ingram.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, Guns, now since you've been interrupted quickly, don't want to get you out of topic, but any guns bombs from you? On any guns bombs? Any predictions?
Oh, guns. Oh, no, I only do LTTP bongs, dude. I'm sorry, dude. No. Yeah, sorry, dude. Sorry. No, I don't like to isolate myself. We're a team here, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I'm just kidding. But a couple more updates, guys, just real quick. Malcolm Simpson and Carson Cox didn't make their visit, especially with Carson Cox. There's a weird situation going on there where, he even told UCLA that he was visiting, but I guess just paperwork wasn't sent out. I'm not really sure, but sucks to hear on that situation. Hopefully we hear more on that later on this week. What we mentioned on Wednesday was there was a secret D lineman. Maybe it was some kid in the South. Well, unfortunately, it was not. If you were looking for that on your bingo card, it was actually a local kid, Josiah Sharma from Folsom, California. He's on campus currently. That pipeline slowly growing. And a wise man said, "Actions speak louder than words." So I think this is a great sign for us. And another D lineman for the trenches for those people out there that say we have none coming. Last two, Jaden Perlott, Georgia linebacker. Sounds like all of a sudden distance is a factor, maybe academics as well. But basically, Tennessee is pushing hard on this, and that was kind of the school to beat back in the time when he committed. So could be losing him. And then lastly, Romero Eisen, wide receiver out in the DMV area. Loved his visit, shut it down. He'll be a Trojan Wednesday, so if anyone was concerned about him, we'll be good. But I mean, hey, looking like we're gonna get 3 D line to add to this really good underrated D line class. Obviously headlined by most likely Jakeem Stewart. But guys, and lastly, I mean, we didn't even say names. There could be guys that pop up Wednesday or later throughout this week that we have not even talked about. So, like, to me, I feel like anyone is open game. Like, we're really the donors, the House of Victory, the staff are really putting out all the stops to try to get everyone for this class. So, hopefully we get some guys. That's really it for my guys. So if you guys have any questions, comments?
I'll say one comment that I have is just for the fans that are freaking out on Miles decommitting. Yeah, it sucks to lose a 5-star wide receiver with good potential, but we're in Southern California. There's a ton of those wide receivers that are underrated that end up becoming stars, especially in the right system. So I'm more happy about getting the trench guys, like you guys said. We need guys on the O-line, D-line. And if you're telling me that we're going to get potentially 3 D linemen and lose Miles, I'll be stoked about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for whatever's to come. I just hope we get some defensive linemen from the trenches, and we have some good offensive tackles ready for us, but we're still going to need to hit that transfer portal pretty hard when it comes to the trenches. Center is easily probably our biggest concern moving on forward next year, because we don't have the Swiss Army knife of Jonah Monheim anymore. So this is definitely going to be a defining. Last year's class was a good class, but this is probably going to be a defining class for Lincoln Riley.
I would agree, especially for the defense, to get that depth up to par, get the talent, trenches. If we could secure these 3 guys that we talked about, in particular for the D line, I mean, versatility is going to be the big thing, and that's always been the thing with Lynn's defense. I mean, these D-line guys can play 1, 3, 4, maybe 5. I mean, there's some versatile guys that we're targeting. So,
yeah. But yeah, anyone in the chat has anything that you guys want to talk about when it comes to recruiting here? A lot of people are mainly just talking about Miles decommitting from us. Wide receiver, I'm not worried about that. We still have a lot of good recruits coming from as wide receivers. We have Sims, we have Eason, we have
Hines.
Yeah, we have a lot of good talent coming in. We still have some good sophomore or soon to be juniors right now, depending on if anyone decides to leave or not. Hudson can still be coming back. And then we also have the freshman that we had this year who didn't he redshirted, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so
I believe he's been dealing with the injury, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's been kind of if I read correctly in the past.
Yeah. But either way, skills position, I'm not too worried about. Mekhi Lemon, he's going to be back next year, better than ever this year. Dude is scrappy. Dude is jawing at everyone. The man. Yeah,
he loves to talk, man. After every play, he's always talking to someone.
He follows it up. He's a dog. So
definitely.
I think he's more of a dog than Amon-Ra, because Amon-Ra loved to talk a little bit afterwards. Like, because I'm surprised that Mekhi hasn't had more penalties. So, But yeah, skill position, not worried about that. In all honesty, I think this is probably going to be the worst. Like this, like we were good at wide receiver. It's just like we had no one that was consistent this year.
Yep.
But next year, I'm sure they're going to step it up. Dennis Simmons definitely needs to make sure that they step it up. So, but
and to go into some of like the comments from the chat, I agree. Right, local kids got it. You got to recruit these kids. Easier to keep them right than these kids in the South. With what we've seen, right, the decommitments and stuff. I would say, I mean, the staff was prepared for most of these decommitments from the South and the East, right? They were able to get replacements quickly and get it done. I would say also, I mean, 2026 is a lot better class and pool of players in California and in the West Coast than unfortunately 2025. So I do think we are going to see the shift. Hopefully it becomes more consistent because we don't want this to become an every year thing where we're last minute having to replace these guys. You'd rather want to keep these guys warm, so on and so forth. So yeah.
Let's see what else there.
Quinn has a question. We could do Joe. Either one. Sorry.
Yeah, Joe is Ryder Lions committing soon. I'm not sure. Do you know anything, Guns?
I mean, every time he's kind of talked, he said he'd rather do it sooner than later. Every time it's still the Trojans. I don't know. It seems like sooner than later. I guess it's just a continued thought with him. Doesn't seem like anyone's like no one's ever jumped out, ahead of us. So obviously he's been playing. He hasn't been really visiting. So maybe in the off season, in the summer, maybe some of that changes. But I mean, pretty much he loves us. Folsom Pipeline's growing, right? I mean,
yeah.
He's a Trojan, man. Let's just say it. He's gonna be a Trojan.
The other pipeline needs to start growing too, though. Like modern day, even Bishop Gorman needs to get better.
Yeah.
Hey, Quinn Taylor's brought up Epi
Cincinnati, who's a UCLA commit, and I've been seeing people saying that
rumor going around right now, actually, that
he took out his stuff from UCLA.
Yeah, on his Instagram, supposedly he removed his UCLA stuff. He's only following USC accounts.
Yeah.
Me personally, when I went to go check, it was sent to private, so he's you have to kind of request his follow, then he's got to approve it type of situation. So I'm not sure what's going on there. If you look at his Twitter, though, I'm still seeing UCLA stuff. So, but I do know when Hayden Lau flipped, he was one of the options, right? It was him and Toby from Texas. So,
yeah.
I mean, again, that's kind of what I said earlier. Like anybody that we did not mention could just pop up on Wednesday or later this week, and they're a Trojan. Like we are throwing bags. Like from what we're hearing, people are throwing left and right and hoping somebody takes it. Basically, so
yeah, Lincoln. If there's any time to start closing, now is the time.
Yeah.
B. Jones, you've been very quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just listening to you. I mean, I have my thoughts, and I've got some intel that we're gonna have a pretty good week. I'll say that about recruiting, man. So, we're gonna have a lot to celebrate this weekend. I know it doesn't look like that right now if you're looking at all the national media, especially with today's news losing Miles. But I mean, like Guns mentioned, receivers are a dime a dozen. DBs, dime a dozen. I'm not too worried about those positions, man. We can find those on trees, especially out here in Southern California. But what I will say, and this has been a topic, and this might go on for a minute for the rest of the show because it's a touchy one. And we are doing better this next class, 2026, but there are things that we have to do first and foremost on the for this recruiting trail. I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But first thing is we got to get our alumni involved and take advantage of that.
Yes. Like our
That's
alumni are very vocal on Twitter, and they are not happy.
at all.
Matt Leinart, Lendell, Matt Barkley, Cody Kessler, and even just some big not superstars, but just like celebrities. Snoop Dogg.
Listen, there are alumni that I've spoken to, former players that I've spoken to, who are begging to be used on the recruiting trail because they want to see us succeed too. Why aren't we using Seward, Jaywalk,
Deion Bailey,
Stephon Johnson? Come on, man.
Like we brought Mike
Ogden
Williams
brothers.
back, and who mentioned Mike Williams? I think that was Tina did. Yeah. Mike Williams help on the field next year. He can help us by he's part of the player development, and I just feel like we need to be utilizing these guys a lot more, and not just have them come in just to say hi to people. We need them to be out there. Like they need to be part of the what recruits see on a day-to-day basis. Like we need to be having these players, these alumni on campus, talking to these kids, showing them the benefits of being a Trojan.
Daily, these kids should get sick of seeing USC on their campus.
Yeah, Matt Leinart should be greeting every quarterback or every wide receiver or something like most people, like I've seen his videos where he goes around campus just saying, "Do you know who I am?" or whatever, and some people don't, and like that should not be the case. They should know who this man is. Like everyone knows who Caleb Williams is because he's recency bias, but we're not having these legends back on campus. I bet they don't even feel like they're welcome on campus.
I was just going to say that, and that is what has been said, that they don't feel like it's home. And this has been said for a few years now, and I'm getting sick of it because it's disgusting, man. To us, these are the people that we watched growing up and made us fall in love with the Trojan football.
Yeah,
and
why
they don't even feel like that it's a home for them anymore?
Yeah,
it's just
why
ridiculous.
is Ray Maluga on campus? Like he should have been part of the recruitment for Amo. I'm sure he knows who he is.
Yeah, I think Mama Jen is definitely somebody who kind of resembles that to what you're saying, B. Jones, right? Like all about family, all about bringing everyone together. So hopefully she really sees this. I mean, she's definitely a hands-on AD. I think a lot of ADs need to be that way, especially with football. So hopefully she really sits down with him and it just kind of like breaks it down and says, hey, here's some things that I've seen, I've heard, so on and so forth. Like let's change some things up. So hopefully she's literally on him, because next year, I mean, he's already on the hot seat, but like again, you don't get 9 wins at least next year. Oh man, this fan base, this alumni, this podcast, it's gonna be on his head. So
yeah, all the podcasts, yeah. But there's a lot of chatter going on here. So let's see who said
it. The Joe question
about
the Rider Lions one.
Rider Lions, yeah. Like someone said that the Rider Lions is going elsewhere to BYU. Is that true? Who's your source, Joe Boyd? And first off, I don't think that's true at this point. Like,
Joe Boyd is always censored.
He has visited there a couple weeks ago. Actually, I think when they lost their first game is when he visited that game. I believe his sister goes to the school. Okay, so there's the connection. So yeah, I mean they're one of the schools that he's talking to. Along with like an Ole Miss. I mean, you could technically say an Oregon, right? But I mean, again, it just seems like right now, it's all us. It's us basically. So
yeah,
unless something drastically changes.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Christian saying we also need a field goal kicker? Because there's been some talks here. Joe says special teams needs to be better Punting, no. But we'll need a. Is Eddie going to be gone next year?
Yeah,
Eddie.
he's gone.
Yeah, he's gonna be gone. I would
Okay.
say we need to like utilize it better. So what I mean by that is, hey, if it's a 50-yarder, maybe even I mean, this kind of sounds sad,
Well, he
but
missed
even
some
like a
50-yarder.
49er, right? Yeah, exactly. Like if he's not consistent, don't even have him go out there and go
Yeah.
try it out. Just punt the ball, try to get it within the 20 and play
Which he
field
does.
position. Like if it's in within the 40, then yeah, get the kicker out there and let him kick it, right? I think he did that against UCLA, right? It was pretty much all within 30, 40 yards, and he made them all. So
Yeah.
I just think we need to utilize special teams differently than how we did it thus far, because early in the season, yeah, he was just letting them kick those long 50-yarders, and he was not hitting them.
Maybe we need a true special teams coordinator, not just the title.
Yeah. Yeah, one that doesn't cheat, that got us in trouble. No.
I never thought I would say this, but I'm gonna miss our punter next year. Like Eddie Chapliski, which for some reason no one on our team can say that. That dude is going to be an insane punter in the NFL, dude. Like, and he has passion. He got mad when the ball was in the 35 or the 30, because he's been kicking it in between the 10 and the 5 pretty much all season. And like that 75-yarder that he had, like that Makai accidentally let go into the end zone, was an insane punt. And like his season from last year, night and day. But last year he wished he could forget about that season, but he probably had some Alex Grinch stench on him too. So but this year he's All-American easily. He has to be All-American. If he does not get the Ray Guy award, something's wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. He finally got his first touchback, so that might hurt him, man.
That was his first touchback?
I believe so. I believe there was a stat. There was a.
Does it count when there was a penalty though?
He got the same. He got the same touchback after the. Yeah. But
shout out to Christian for the $5 dono again. Field goal kicker missed from 10 yards, 10-yard line, 20. He missed about 5 field goals this year and 3 within the 30. This is not good.
Yeah, I honestly, I have to be personally. I have to go look back at that. And I hate to say this, but that kind of reminds me of last year's kicker.
Yeah, but you know who wouldn't miss that?
My remembrance of this year's kicker was the long field goals, unfortunately. So again, I agree. We do need a kicker. I guess I just don't remember the short kicks. So I apologize if that is still accurate. But yeah,
hey, Guns, you know who wouldn't miss that? Automatic inside the 30. It'll be Raul, man. But I'm out of eligibility though.
Are you though?
Sorry, guys.
Are you out of eligibility?
I am. I'm sorry.
There's some kickers that are in their 30s right now.
Are there really?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, the Australian kickers, Australian punters.
But like in college though?
Yeah. We had one like 7-8 years ago. He was an old dude. I think he may have been like,
was Bertrand's or something like that?
Something like that. He was like he was probably like 28 or so, but still he was old.
Okay, so we got the stats here. I'm glad we have this thing called the internet. So he was 14 for 20. That's 70%. Not great, obviously.
Yeah,
he was 1 for 1 between 20, basically 19 yards or less. He was 6 for 8 between 20 and 29. So there's 2 misses. Between the 30 and 39, he was good, 30 for 3. 40 for 49, he was 3 for 6. Right? So even in there, he was bad. And then 50 plus, he was 1 for 2. He had a long of 54. But I mean, so I guess there was two short ones.
Are those factoring any blocked ones or?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I would assume they would include that.
So I think we had maybe one.
But basically, regardless, from within 40 or less, he missed only really 2.
I wonder how he was at Georgia Southern.
mean, I can check real quick.
But yeah, let's
yeah.
see.
So last year he was 82% overall. I mean, to be honest, he only missed one field goal within 39 yards or less. Again, the 40 to 49 was still his issue, and 50. So I mean, if I was recruiting this guy and I saw this, I would basically say, okay, hey, anything 40 or more, we're putting. Anything 40 or less, he's kicking. But I guess Lincoln had other thoughts. So,
all right.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do here, we could talk about this a lot here. So, but I'm going to put in the chat this a link to jump onto the stream here. So if you want to jump in and you want to voice your opinions on the season, anything that we've talked about, go ahead and hop on the stream. And what was it? You don't have to show your face or anything like that. So just jump in here, voice what you got a voice, and just make sure you keep it PG. I know I'm not a good example of that right now, but keep it PG as possible.
And also,
yeah.
when you come in, please turn off whatever device that you have that you're
in the
playing
background,
background, so that we're able to hear you.
So there's no feedback. There you go. But yeah, we'll leave that up there for about 5 minutes or so, and then if we have no one, then we'll just call it a day, and then we're probably going to be talking. We'll talk about the schedule, about how this show is going to be after the bowl game, and hopefully we find out what bowl game we're going to be in. I think
I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple where Sun Bowl, Georgia Tech. I've seen another one where supposedly we have a rematch against LSU in Vegas. Like supposedly that is
I want Oklahoma
projection, so that would be wild.
I want Oklahoma. That needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
We got
it's technically based off like the old conferences, right? So like technically we're a Pac-12 team, right, for these bowl games. Right. They're technically a Big 12 team, so the Alamo Bowl would probably be the best bet for that, right? Technically, I guess. Or
all right, real quick, guys, I'm going to let someone in here. We got Mr. Christian Ragland, our most recent member here. Shout outs to Christian. How's everything going over there, man?
What's going on, fellas?
It's going.
It's going. Season over with. Get through this bowl game. It's been a long, tough one. Man, I was just gonna hop on. I wasn't being combative or just giving a different perspective, especially with the play calling, because all year that's what we focus on. I think there's a bigger issue, and it still falls back on Riley. It still falls back on Lynn and the position coaches, right? Because a lot of the time these plays are being called, and I'm looking at the defense if we're on offense, and the right play is being called, but there's one thing that can destroy every perfect play call, and that's lack of execution. And it's on the coaches because they have to get these players ready, but we cannot excuse the players for not executing. And the first half, when we tried to run that screen, if you go back and rewind it, look at the block attempt by Hudson on that wide receiver screen.
Yeah.
It was a whip. It was the right play call for what the defense was showing, but poor execution will destroy any perfect play call. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna run down something real fast. Michigan, right? If you look at the defensive call that Lynn called, perfect defensive call for what they were doing. Had two players whiff on the tackle. He breaks 70-some yards, right? That's not on play call. That's on execution. Again, coaches, you have to coach these people up. But as a coach, all you can do is put players in the right situation. Maryland, we drive down the field, leave no time pretty much on the clock. We're milking the clock. Field goal blocks. They just let them in, right? Again, that's not on play call. That's on poor execution. The Minnesota, it's a 90-yard drive we give up at the end of the game to the defense. Our defense did, right? We with multiple third downs and fourth downs where players were in the right position and they just didn't make the tackle. The person broke the tackle and went. That's on execution. Penn State, we're driving down. We're about to be in field goal range with no time left. And the quarterback throws the ball over a 6'6" receiver head too high that was wide open, that would have had us in field goal range. Perfect play call for what the defense was doing. Poor execution. Washington, we're in the red zone 3 times. We ran, I mean, for four straight downs. We ran the ball 3 out of 4 downs within the trenches. Again, poor execution. Offensive line couldn't get a push. Couldn't move nobody. I know we say why Riley won't run the ball. Why Riley won't run the ball. The thing about our offense is we can run the ball, but we can't. We haven't proved that we can run the ball when we want to run the ball. When they know we're going to run the ball, it's like our line does not get that push. And once we get in the red zone, everything starts to tighten up, and we run the spread offense, right? So within that 10-yard line, it's crowded down there, and so instead of attacking the defense vertically, we need to be trying to attack the defense more horizontally because our offensive line, when teams know we want to run and they get down in those clutch times like that, they don't get a push. We seen that in the Washington game. We seen it in the UCLA game. We tried to run on the goal line down there, and we got negative plays. We can't. We haven't proved that we can run the ball when we want to run the ball. When you know we're going to run the ball. What Notre Dame did to us yesterday, we knew what they wanted to do, and they did it anyway. They wasn't getting touched until 4 or 5 yards because their offensive line was had us on skates. And again, coaching, everything comes back. Even as my job as a project manager, something go wrong, even if it wasn't my wrong, I take the responsibility for it, right? Because it's under me. It's my management. But at the same time, I have the expectation that everyone under me execute on what they're supposed to do because all I can do is put you in the right position to succeed.
Yep.
But for all of us to succeed, everyone has to do their part. And the play calling and things like that, yeah, there's some times maybe we could have ran the ball a little bit more. But for overall the season, determining what the defense was giving, what the defense was showing, and the plays that have been called, the plays are there. We're not making the plays, and so it looks a lot more awful. Like, oh, why would you do this? Like yesterday when Maiva, it was I want to say it was 31, and he threw the deep ball um to Makai Lemon, right? And everyone's like, it's 31. Why you just don't run it? Why or throw it short? Why are you going for the home run ball? But if you go back and you look at what the defense doing, the defense had came up and they took away everything short, and they had even doubled Deuce, and he had the 1-on-1. So the quarterback went to the right place. Makai just didn't come up with the catch. It hit him in the hands. It was a good ball. So again, like the plays are there. We need to make them. Even on defense, they're in position, but they're not making them. And the last thing I will say before I go, it's something we've seen with the defense all year, and it's hard for anybody because in high school I played quarterback, in college I played defensive back, and it's tough for any defense when you can't come up with negative plays, right? When you can't tackle a running back behind the line of scrimmage to get him behind the sticks, when you can't get sacks, and you have an offense that's living in 2nd and 4, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, it's going to be hard to get off the field. And without those trench players to be able to nut up to really shut down the run, we say we shut down people's run this year. We really didn't shut their run down. They will still get 2 and 3 yards, average. Like until we can cause negative plays, it's going to be hard because they're going to live in 2nd and 4, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. That's what Notre Dame did all day yesterday. We couldn't get off the field, and that's what we've seen all year. If you want to look it up, go back and look at the stat. How many teams went forward on 4th down against us, and what their 4th down was, how short the distance was, or how short the third down was. And it's like you work so hard on those first 3 downs, and you get them to a 3rd and 1 situation, but they already done got 9 yards. So on 4th down, it's 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, and we don't have those big bodies in front. That's why everybody like go for it, and it's hard to get
Yep.
off the field. So we have to get those trench players because if an offense is playing ahead of the sticks all game, it's going to be a long game. Somehow you have to be able to cause negative plays. Somehow you have to be able to bring the running back down for negative yards on the run. You have to get sacks. If they're staying in second and 4, 3rd and 2, it's going to be a long game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
Like I said, at the same time though, Christian, the only thing I can say to combat that is just there's going to be, how do I want to put this? You got to kind of expect our guys not to execute on every play. That's just the nature of the game. You know what I'm saying? We can't just have a defense or offense that depends solely on the perfect execution. That's just not realistic. And that was the issue with Rich's defense, right? We would have a guy in the space, right, where he's supposed to be. But if that guy didn't make the play, it was a wrap. You get what I'm saying? So we can't rely on perfect execution when we're talking about college kids. NFL, even they don't execute perfectly all the time, but it's more expected because they're professional.
Yeah,
but
I think the bigger issue when I say execution, it's not saying executing on every play. We have failed execution on multiple plays, which deflect on what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Defensively, we play a bend but don't break defense. Keep everything in front of us. The mentality of the bend but don't break defense is make them go the length of the field and force them to make a mistake.
Yeah.
But if you can't force them into making a mistake by getting behind the sticks or getting it third and long, what's happening is it's hurting us because we'll play good on that drive, and then our one mistake, they out for a big play.
Yeah.
So it's backfiring on us. And no matter what defense you are, you cannot give up as many 90-yard drives as we did this year.
Yeah.
Right? Our punter against Penn State, we gave up 2 90-yard drives after the punter had pinned them in deep. Like if you look at Minnesota, we gave up 90 yards. Like as a defense, you can't do this. Our defense is a lot better than it was last year, but outside of Riley's play calling, I think we're close, but we're further away than what we really are. And when I say that, I mean there's holes on offense that needs to be filled, and there's a lot of holes on defense as well that needs to be filled because we haven't really even seen D'Anthony Glenn true genius in his defense because he's missing one key thing, and that's the elite pass rusher. So for D'Anthony Glenn's defense, he needs an elite pass rusher on the end that can cause mayhem, all by himself. And that's what I'm saying. It all starts with the trenches. Our wide receivers, let's be honest, they dropped a lot of balls this year. Again, that goes back to execution. Dropped a lot of balls that, put us behind. What we want to do is put us behind the stick. And a lot of times we're like, why is Riley not running? First down, we get stuff, or we'll get a penalty. Now we're behind the sticks, and we're trying to get it to where it can be third and manageable or something like that. But we need to build within the trenches, like badly. Like that should be our number one concern. And a field goal kicker. I know you brought the stat out, but I'm pretty sure when we played LSU and we drove before halftime, right before LSU, he missed from like the 10-yard line. I don't know what that equates to with the distance of the end zone, but he missed from the 10-yard line right before halftime against LSU. Again, but all that goes back to execution on game-winning opportunities and to put the game away. This is not on the field goal kicker, but these ones not. 2 blocked field goals. That's bad execution. You're in position to make the play to win the game. We have to make the play. But again, I think all of this, and I will let other people get off. I think all of this is going to be better for us next year because if I took USC off the jersey and I was just talking to someone or watching the team, and I seen the season we had with the 5 close games we lost and the mistakes and things that was going on, the first thing that I would say is, sounds like a young team, which we are. Sound like a young and inexperienced team that's learning how to win. And I'm going to end on a positive note. From what I've seen from the beginning year going down to now, especially the last 2 games, they have took a big step. The offensive line grew, especially our young tackles. The defense is growing. Miles is going to continue to grow until the fourth quarter. Yesterday, he was putting on a performance. He was putting on a performance, right? And let's be honest, that first pick 6. I don't care what nobody said. That was a horse collar. He grabbed Hudson by the back of the shoulder pad.
Yeah.
Right. again, we wasn't getting calls from the ref all day. Jamel Muhammad was getting hands to the face, and they wasn't calling it or anything. The
Nope.
second INT, it was 4th and 6, and like everybody's like, why did he do that? But anybody who know football and situational football understand. If you look at the play, the man said height, and if I Notre Dame people, the floodgates just opened up. It seemed like the offensive line, everybody just got confused and missed the block. They ran in his face immediately. It was 4th and 6. You can't take a sack. You got to just throw it to the end zone and hope some miraculous happen or a pass interference. You know what I mean? At that point of the game, it was 4th and 6. You can't take a sack there. So I think we're going to be good with Marvin moving forward. I like what I'm seeing from him. I mean, he was having a great game yesterday. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I like what I'm seeing. Next year, I'm optimistic, and I feel like we're going to have a much better year. And what's really going to tell me that? Talk to me after the portal close. If we don't hit this portal hard, and we're not trying to get an elite edge rusher, or interior defensive tackles, because again, we got some good ones coming. We got some good ones on the team, but they're young. You know what I'm saying? The reason for the portal is not to build your whole team, but it's to plug and play. Where I got a hole at, let me put somebody there that can play now and help me win. Offensively, if we don't get a running back or receiver, we still have the guys there. They're going to be a year older, right? And they're going to be used to playing on this level now. So we'll be good there. We need to be hitting offensive line and defensive line really hard and putting the money there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. The portal is going to be our best friend next year or this season. So,
but I'm definitely optimistic about next year. I still believe. I am going to say this because I know a lot of times people probably think that I have an affinity for Riley or something like that. It's not. It's just I played football, high school, college, coaching myself. So I be looking at more than. You know what I'm saying? I would say that the average person, I'm looking at schematic scheme, like what down and distance, all that stuff they go into. But I will say this: if we're not competing next year, if we don't have a 9-win season, 10-win season, pushing to at least make playoffs, then I'll be saying, okay, I'm ready for a change. But right now, there's no one out there available. Indiana re-signed their coach to a big contract. There's nobody out there that can come in. That's it's not worth blowing this whole thing up for anybody that's available. If that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. We just he is on the hot seat. Like he needs to perform this season, but yeah, definitely really appreciate you, Christian, for all the support that you show us. Really appreciate you, man. And anything last you want to say before we get you out of here?
Well, sir, man, I appreciate y'all. Keep doing the good work.
All right, man. Fight on, man.
Fight on.
But yeah, no, he had a lot of great points in there. And the one thing that I kind of wanted to combat that is just when Quentin Joyner is having the game that he's having, 10 for 83, averaging 8.3 yards, why get away from that? Even Brian Jackson was having a good game as well. He was 6 for 71, averaging 11.8 yards a game, or 8 yards a carry. So that's just some things that just needs more balance, I guess you can say, because I know he was forced to throw more towards the fourth quarter, but it's just we probably shouldn't have had to do that if we were a little bit more consistent, which we were doing really well on the rushing portion of it, but yeah. Well, anything else you guys want to add on?
Yeah, I would say to that, man. I mean, there's been worse games for as far as us not running the ball than yesterday. You know what I mean? Even though yesterday was pretty bad, but we were having success passing the ball, especially we were attacking the guy who ended up getting a pick at the end. We were just eating him up. So I understand that.
Christian Gray.
I'm not too mad at it. Yeah, but But I mean, there's definitely been other games where we definitely should have run the ball a lot more, and especially since here's another thing that we probably should have been talking about. Why? And it's gonna be probably controversial, but why bring in Jaden Mayava and still call plays as if he's Miller Moss?
Yeah.
If that's the case, we could have kept Miller Moss in.
Yeah, dude, he has a strong arm, but he also has legs that he can make plays with. And there's like 3 plays that there's like 2 plays that he just took off running. But it just makes no sense to not run an actual RPO offense. Like he's literally running it as if Miller Moss was still in it. Why are we giving Mayava the chance to make plays with his legs? It makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, sorry. I was sorry to jump in. I apologize. You guys kind of really popped something in my brain here, which I was meaning to bring up a long time ago, and I apologize because I know we've been over normal time. But what even infuriates me more about the whole game yesterday was that there was one play where we decided to bring in Jake Jensen.
Yeah.
Or a read option play or like a QB run play. I don't know what the exact play was. But we do that over Jaden Mayava. We were all screaming it the whole year when Miller Moss was the QB. Hey, let's do some Mayava packages here and there. Like that right there is like what I told these guys. Like to me, it feels like he does this to troll us. He tries to outsmart himself, or like he's honestly doing these types of things to try to get fired. I mean, that'd be insane to say, but that was like that play was just like, what did I see? I'm still mind blown, baffled, and I mean, I guess, hey, sure, let's let him give a play on the last regular season game, but I don't know. I think we were still down a touchdown, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's not like the game was over, if I'm not mistaken. So,
I didn't understand that one at all. So.
Yeah. But are we going to be heading out here, guys? You guys all good?
Yeah. I think we're all past our time.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to head out here. We're going to we should be going. We might be going live on Wednesday. So we'll keep you guys updated. Follow us on the Light the Torches Twitter, Instagram, and we'll make sure we let you guys know when we're going to be going live next. And right now, USCJ is live right now, so go ahead and go to his channel, show him some love, tell him that the Light the Torch podcast sent you. So definitely name drop us in his chat. So, but we're going to head out of here. Like and subscribe, follow us on our socials, and if you want to be in the playoffs for the Cal Southern Centaurs, just go ahead and become a member for $1.99 and DM one of us. Doesn't have to be B Jones, could be any of us on Twitter, and we'll go ahead and get you into the game. But until next time, team, keep the torch burning bright, and as always, fight on.